My name is Stephanie Miller, and I've worked for years as a nurse and midwife at our local hospital. I love the NHS. It is there for all of us when we need it, and it grieves me to see it being used like a political football by individuals simply to serve their own political and financial ends. Donald Trump says he's not interested in muscling in on our NHS, when the reality is talks have already taken place between Minister George Hollenberry and other groups who represent some of the USA's biggest drug companies. They seek a killing, should believe the EU. Consider, a vial of insulin will cost you £16 here in the UK. That same vial will cost you £230 in America. Drug regulation under the late Ronald Reagan led inexorably to the opiate crisis in America. Big pharmacology companies promoted the use of drugs, leading to long-term drug dependency. Drug dependency has led to the breakdown of family life and communities, causing social isolation and an increase in crime and suicide. Drugs used specifically for terminally ill patients became available on prescription, causing appalling dependency. All for profit. Big Pharma in the USA is a multi-billion industry, and there are no limits to its ambition. It has its sights here in the UK, should we leave the European Union. It was Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan who brought about the banking crisis, with deregulation of the financial system, leading to the banking crisis worldwide, a crisis we are still struggling to overcome to this very day. It was the Tories that allowed the imports of contaminated cattle foodstuff, and this brought about the BSE disaster. Thousands and thousands of cattle throughout our countryside were affected with mad cow's disease. And this in turn led to the systematic slaughter of our cattle. Will we ever forget the sight of cattle being slaughtered and thrown onto the enveloping flames? Many innocent lives were destroyed by eating contaminated foodstuff, and the BSE crisis affected so many people. Scientific research has said this problem has not gone away. Remember too, it was through deregulation that blood plasma infected with HIV and hepatitis, imported in from the USA, caused the death of thousands of innocent lives. Families were decimated, ostracised and broken. The Tory government failed to protect patients at their most vulnerable by failing to protect NHS blood supplies. Importing contaminated blood plasma from the USA was simply a cost-cutting exercise. It was a heinous crime and will never be forgiven. Should we leave the EU, there will be further deregulation. Imports no longer subjected to the EU food safety regulations will enter our food chain. Hormone-injected beef, chlorinated chicken. It terrifies me to think about the long-term effects this will have upon people's health now and future generations. And the Tories tell us the NHS is safe in their hands. What a blatant lie. We know that our hospitals are understaffed and at breaking point. We know that the hyenas of the marketplace are circulating, ready to cherry-pick, slash, thrash and privatise our precious NHS. Every night we see and hear on our news channels how patients have to wait on trolleys for hours on end before they are assessed and sent to wards. We know that our staff are overworked and stressed. Many leave the work they love due to the intoxicating, intimidating atmosphere generated by mindless bureaucrats. When they leave, the knowledge and experience handed down from generation to generation is lost forever. Is it any wonder we have vacancies for 100,000 staff within our hospitals? For the first time in decades, there is a rise in maternal deaths. And there is a tragic rise also in stillbirths and severely compromised babies. Hundreds of millions of pounds is spent on litigation, but the human cost and the suffering is immeasurable. The NHS was the brainchild of Clement Attlee's government, a Labour government, 1945-51. It was and continues to be the greatest gift any government could leave to its people. It changed the lives of millions and continues to do so. That is about to change if we become an appendage of the Boris Johnson's do or die mentality. Heaven help us all. The NHS is the envy of the world. It is your NHS. Do not let the ambition of a disreputable government and their cohorts take it from you. Do not vote Tory, vote Labour and save our precious NHS. Thank you.